Hey gang, so today we're looking at something by GEEONE. They have sent over the Musketeer by Muyi. Okay, so the Musketeer is 10900, and the Gatling attachment is $39.90. The Musketeer is black titanium and a solid steel tube, we'll call it. And the Gatling gun is also black titanium. So there's a lot of titanium going on here. Now I've had a Musketeer before. This one's a little different. This has the Gatling gun attachment on it. I gotta say, I find this a huge improvement, and we're gonna find out why. So I'm not gonna give that away now. You gotta watch the rest of the video to find out. It's a secret. A lot of fun, actually. This is one of those pretty cool ones. I gotta stop clicking these things when I'm talking because it's a nightmare to edit. All right, let's stop talking about this. Let's just stop it. All right, let's get this under the camera and have a look. It's the Musketeer by Muyi. Let's go. Okay, here we have the Musketeer with the Gatling cap, I guess. Now, let's talk about this first. We can just pop that right out. So the Musketeer comes like this. Now, we've seen this before. I've reviewed this before. Many people have reviewed this before. This can become a bit driver, which is kind of fun. I was using it as a bit driver for a while. Not the most practical bit driver, obviously, but it was kind of fun to have. But what makes this, I find, even more enjoyable, this does come with that ratchet spinner part as well, but this new accessory, the Gatling cap, is really, really fun, and it actually improves how you use this because so here we have just two rubber bands, right? These are just rubber bands, so this is just pressure. And you can see that this is in the shape of a bit, which is the same way you would put a regular bit on here. So we just push it down and it's in place. So first, what this gives us are like these little switches, these little buttons, right? We can push it down. It's a little more enjoyable pushing it down from the top, having that big pad on here. But what this also lets us do now is because of the grip, I find I do this a lot with it. Now, I'm showing you this in the most awkward way possible, but just having this little hexagonal plate on the top gives your fingers a lot of grip, and it just kind of changes how you use this. So if I'm just, if I'm working, I'm not really thinking, I'm just sort of doing this subconsciously, I just sit there sometimes. And I cannot do that if I don't have the Gatling on here. I mean, I can, but it's not the same because you're really, really putting pressure on here because this is just a cylindrical, surface. There's no real texture on it. But with the little Gatling top, you've got this great little plate. It's just a lot easier to turn. Now, let's just do a refresher on how this is put together, how it works. I'm going to just take the, actually, you know what? I don't even have to take the top off. No, let's get that back on. So let's take this apart. This is very, very simple. As we can see inside here, there is a track, there's a ball that runs along this track, and we have this stopper. This button acts as two things. One, it gives us something to kind of activate with, right? Something to push, something to slide, but it also prevents this from rolling over to the point where it will expose the ball and spring that are on the other side. So all we have to do is get our little driver here. Now, when we take this off, there's nothing to worry about. Nothing comes flying out on this end. All right, that's it. It's just a ball, or sorry, just the little cap. So through here on the other side is the spring and the ball. Two ways you can remove this, but either way, really requires you to cover the hole with your thumb. Now the hole is under here. If I turn this, I'm going to expose the hole this way, so I can do that. Or I can push this forward and expose the hole that way. I find there's more control here because I get a better sense of when it's going to kind of pop out, and I've got my thumb completely covering the hole. So all I'm going to do is turn. Okay. And I turn one more, and there I can feel the ball. I just felt the ball. So if I lift my finger, now we can see we've got the ball and the spring. And then inside is the track, and this is the track here where the spring just pushes the ball and it just kind of moves around in those 5 different positions. And that's really it. If you want a little stronger click, when I got this was actually stronger. This click was not as smooth as I liked it, so what I did is I just flattened the spring down, and I'm actually going to do it a little bit more. And that's it. And then that way, that gives me a little less resistance. And then if you want more resistance, just take the spring and stretch it out. Okay, I'll get in there. And now now what's great is you can test it before you put it together. So this is very loose. I may have loosened it a little too much, possibly. Although, no, I think I like it. It was just a tiny bit looser, which I like. But again, if I wasn't happy with it, I could just take this out and I could take the spring and just stretch it out a little more. And then that'll just add a bit more tension. All right, and then we just put it back together. This is a very, very simple design in the sense that there's not a lot of, sort of internal parts, which is great. That's it. Yeah, that's a bit faster. I actually prefer that. That's the other thing you can sort of give it that little, although it's a little harder. So that's one of the things one of the benefits from loosening the spring a little bit is you can give it that little kind of push if you like. So that's it. That is the Musketeer, the new Musketeer with the Gatling attachment. Black titanium, stainless steel, and then the Gatling head is also black titanium. So together, I think this whole thing comes out to about 150 bucks, because the Musketeer is like 109, we'll call it 110, and the head is like 39.90 or like 40 bucks. But again, if you use the code FidgetFix, you can get 10% off. All right, gang, I'm gonna get that out of here and let's get a nice little end frame. Come on, there we go. Okay, gang, that is the Musketeer and Gatling head. Thanks for watching.